The Tau, an open and tolerant race which spread forth from the eastern part of the galaxy. Tau origins can be traced back to their homeworld of Tau, a dry and arid world covered in savanna and mountain ranges. Here, the primitive Tau lived as nomadic tribes, scraping a living from the planet as best they could. Eventually, Tau from different parts of the world would develop varying traits. In the mountainous regions, the Tau evolved skin flaps and lightweight bones, enabling them to effortlessly glide above the deserts using thermal updrafts. Meanwhile, in the river valleys, other Tau communities delved into agriculture and metallurgy, establishing the initial permanent settlements. As these settlements flourished, trade became imperative, prompting nomadic Tau to engage in negotiation and mediation among diverse tribes while navigating the rivers aboard rudimentary barges. On the plains, the Tau who opted to stay had developed into formidable and adept hunters, surpassing others in size and strength within the Tau community. As the Tau numbers grew and their cultures developed, it eventually led them to war with each other. Some tribes grouped together and waged war on others. Walls and fortresses were built, and crude weaponry was forged. Due to the fighting, Tau society had broken down. The farms were no longer regularly harvested, trade broke down, and access to water was minimal. Disease ran rampant through the tribes, and many Tau perished from it, just as they did from battle. This period of history was named Montau, the Terror, the Death Age. According to Tau lore, the Ethereals made their initial appearance during the crisis at the city of Phio Town, coinciding with the mysterious lights in the skies. The fortress city faced relentless attacks from Plains warriors, who, despite attempts at negotiation, insisted on the complete destruction of Phio Town. Enduring a 5-year siege, the city's defenders relied on sturdy walls and abundant cannons, but succumbed to disease and famine. In a turning point, 2 Tau figures emerged. One infiltrated the Plains Tau camp, emanating an irresistible authority, leading the Plains leader to engage in dialogue with Phio Town's Tau. Simultaneously, the other mysterious Tau infiltrated the fortress, swiftly opening its gates for negotiations. The 2 Ethereals conveyed the significance of peace and unity among all Tau, advocating for a greater good that every Tau should aspire to achieve. This greater good involved perfect harmony and the combining of each caste's strengths to counter the many weaknesses their cultures had. Both besiegers and besieged promptly embraced the Ethereal's message, resulting in a truce. Throughout the land, additional Ethereals surfaced, each exuding the same quiet authority and promoting a message of harmony and collaboration. Within a few years, the Ethereals successfully united all of Tau, fostering a collective effort toward their shared goals. Tau society is separated into a caste system. Each caste has a unique subspecies of Tau, with each of these subspecies able to perform their chosen tasks with utmost efficiency. The ethereal caste, the Aun, are the leaders of Tau society. As the leaders of the Tau, the Ethereals are mysterious and contemplative, unwavering in their authority and commitment to advancing the greater good, with few exceptions. They embody a mystical and philosophical essence, possessing knowledge and wisdom beyond that of their more pragmatic subjects. Their role in the rapid development of the Tau has been pivotal, and to this day they continue to steer their species in its dynamic expansion, preventing a regression to the savagery that once posed a threat to their existence. The Ethereal's influence over the Tau is so profound that a mere directive from an Ethereal could prompt a Tau to sacrifice themselves, willingly and swiftly. While the Tau's obedience to the Ethereals is considered natural, other races, particularly mankind, have long speculated about this uncommon loyalty. Various theories abound, ranging from prenatal indoctrination and pheromonal compulsion to the potential possession of a veiled psychic gift by the Ethereals. Yet, conclusive evidence supporting any such power remains elusive, as captured Ethereals subjected to interrogation have proven uncooperative. The Water Caste, the Poor, play a crucial role in the Tau Empire, serving as traders, merchants, public servants, bureaucrats, administrators, diplomats, and ambassadors. They engage with other races, particularly when affairs aren't managed by the Fire Caste, and assume administrative responsibilities on Tau worlds in the absence of an ethereal governor. Analogous to water caste bureaucrats seamlessly navigate between various castes and alien races integrated within the Empire, ensuring a smooth flow of interactions. Renowned for their exceptional linguistic, diplomatic, and negotiation skills, members of the water caste often take the lead in establishing initial contact with newly encountered species, skillfully negotiating their integration into the Tau community. The watercast exhibits a remarkable linguistic gift that has evolved over time, enabling them to effortlessly learn alien languages and demonstrate an extraordinary ability to mimic and grasp the subtlest nuances of communication. The Firecast, the Shas, are warriors predominantly found on the battlefield, having been selectively bred to embody the strength and aggression integral to their role. Weak strains are swiftly eliminated in the rigorous process, rooted in the Firecast's origins on the plains of Tau, where they served as hunters and warriors. The soldiers known as Fire Warriors dedicate their entire lives to battle or its preparation, continuously refining tactics and enhancing skills. They epitomize the embodiment of martial prowess. Those hailing from the world of Viola stand out as the strongest due to slightly greater muscle mass developed under the planet's stronger gravity. The Firecast adheres to the Code of Fire, a doctrine emphasizing loyalty, martial arts, and unyielding warfare, tempered by wisdom. Upon completing 4 years of active duty, a warrior faces the trial by fire, ranging from gladiatorial contests to constant combat trials. Successfully surviving this trial earns the title of Shasui, or veteran. Subsequent trials occur every 4 years of service, with higher ranks increasing the likelihood of becoming a battlesuit pilot. Only fire warriors proving themselves in battle and passing their initial trial by fire qualify to wear the Herex Evra, or Mantle of Heroes, and operate the battlesuit. Achieving the rank of O permits a Firecast member to potentially retire from active duty and assume an advisory role to the Tau's military command, the Shas-Ar Tol. Death, or this form of retirement, represents the sole means of departing from the Tau military. The Earthcast, the Fio, assumes responsibility for catering to the manufacturing, agricultural, industrial, artisanal, and engineering requirements of the Tau Empire. Distinguished by their sheer numerical dominance, they play a pivotal role in constructing dwellings, ensuring food provisions, and advancing technological innovations. Members of the Earthcast are commonly characterized as unassuming and somber, embodying a stoic perspective on life. Originating as the pioneering Tau in city construction and agriculture, they were instrumental in establishing the city of Fio Town, where the Ethereals made their initial appearance. Finally, the Aircast, the Core, play a pivotal role in upholding the cohesion of the Tau Empire through the management of the Core Vatra, the Empire's merchant and war fleet, as well as overseeing Tau orbitals and fortress stations. Formerly messengers, they now constitute the Tau Navy and are often referred to as the Invisible Caste due to their infrequent presence on planets. Residing in orbital cities, members of the Aircast stand out as the tallest and most slender among the Tau, characterized by elongated limbs and hollow bones, developed from lives spent predominantly in low and zero-gravity ships and space stations. In the era preceding the Montau, the original Aircast Tau possessed membranes between their limbs, allowing them to glide on air currents. While Tau pilots demonstrate superior skills in comparison to their human counterparts, boasting enhanced depth perception and higher G-tolerance, they may lack the battle experience of the best Imperial fighter pilots. Using their caste system and working together, the Tau have been able to expand throughout their part of the galaxy. They call these movements spheres of expansion. With each sphere, the Tau take over new worlds, either settling them peacefully or by doing battle with hostile forces, such as the Imperium of Man. The Tau stands out as the most open and tolerant among the galaxy's races, choosing not to resort to immediate destruction upon encountering others, and displaying a level of xenophobia far less pronounced than that of the Imperium. They express an appreciation for the customs of humans, Eldar, and various sentient races, while firmly upholding their own values as superior to all others. As the Tau expand, they bring any other races willing to help them into their empire. They will uplift races, giving them technology and culture. They ask for 2 things in return: help within the empire, be it war, agriculture, labor, or anything a particular race can offer, and adherence to the greater good. The Tau also further separate their people into ranks, from lowest to highest. The ranks in Tau society are Sal, La, Wi, Vray, El, and O. Furthermore, Tau are usually separated into different septs, depending on the system they come from. Each system has its own tactics and methods of living. Some examples of septs are Tau, Viola, and Sasia. Tau personal names, unlike those of humans, usually mean things in their language, depending on the deeds in their lives. Thus, the Tau commander Farsight would be named Chassot, Viola, Chauvard, Case, Montier. Chas means he's been a member of the Firecast. O means a high-ranking commander and hero. Viola means he comes from the sept of Viola. and his personal name translates to being far-sighted, Shovar, skilled, case, and having seen many battles, Montir, meaning blooded. Tau typically possess a smaller stature compared to humans. Characterized by less muscle mass and body weight, each Tau presents a human form, featuring 2 arms, 2 cloven feet, and a singular head. Their skin, tinted in a grey-blue hue, is resilient and dry, reflecting the arid nature of their native environment. With flat, wide faces and olfactory organs situated within their mouths, Tau exhibit unique facial features. Their eyes possess the ability to perceive both infrared and ultraviolet wavelengths, granting them proficient eyesight. However, they exhibit a slower focus adjustment when observing distant objects in comparison to humans. Tau possess 3 digits and a single opposable thumb on each hand. Notable skeletal distinctions from humans include differences in bone structure of their lower legs, feet, and ankles. Tau exhibit shorter labia and fibia equivalent bones. Yet their feet feature elongated cuneiform bones and tali, along with 2 large central weight-bearing toes. This evolutionary adaptation enables Tau to stand and move without relying on their heels. Skin coloration among Tau often varies depending on their caste and the sept to which they belong. Generally, the air caste tends to exhibit the palest pigmentation, while members of the fire caste typically possess darker hues. The intensity of a Tau's bluish-grey skin correlates with their proximity to the sun. Thus, individuals residing of Viola typically have darker skin tones compared to those from Borkan. Additionally, the unique qualities of the green-tinged sun in the Endras Sept region can occasionally result in a slightly mottled appearance among its inhabitants. Imperial observers have suggested that Tau blood appears bluish-purple, theorizing it contains trace amounts of cobalt rather than the iron found in human blood. Tau have relatively short lifespans, with an average expectancy of around 50 years. Most Tau require only 1.5 to 3 hours of sleep per 15 hours. The Tau have no psychers among their ranks, and their souls barely register in the warp. Without psychers, they cannot fully travel through the warp, and instead dive into it for short periods of time. Although they have no psychers, the Tau do have a presence in the warp. Other races who possess these qualities and follow Tau doctrine have managed to create an entity in the warp known as the goddess Tau Va. As the Tau expand into the galaxy, they find themselves at odds with many species around them, yet the Tau stand ready and move into battle together with single purpose. Tau ground warfare is primarily conducted by the fire caste, with the air caste taking charge of aerial and space combat, as well as facilitating transportation between systems. The fundamental military unit of the fire caste is referred to as a cadre, or Kaoi. The Tau exhibits a preference for meticulous assault planning, engaging in battle only after thoroughly coordinating all available troops. Their inclination leads towards offensive warfare, prioritizing the destruction of the enemy over capturing and holding ground. The Tau ideology posits that securing territory becomes significantly more feasible when all adversaries are eliminated. Rather than defending a base or city, the Tau opt to dismantle vital technology, evacuate, and return later to overcome the occupying force with a more formidable army. The Tau employs 2 primary strategies, known as Montkar, killing blow, emphasizing the perfect strike, and Kauyon, patient hunter, emphasizing patience and ambush. In addition to these core principles, the Tau incorporate other strategies, such as Rinyon, circle of blades, a strategy involving envelopment, and Ripyakar, 1,000 daggers, a strategy centered on cumulative strikes. The primary armaments of the fire caste operate by propelling particles that disintegrate into plasma pulses upon firing. Ion cannons and railguns, complemented by an array of guided and unguided missiles, are deployed by the Tau in their ships and vehicles. Battlesuits are armed with a diverse range of weaponry. The Tau initially acquired knowledge of ion weapons through their interactions with the Leagues of Votan. The Tau armies are extensive, with several specialized troops. The main bulk of the army is the Fire Warrior. These soldiers carry pulse rifles and carbines into battle, with an armor that is produced by advanced metal fusing techniques. Furthermore, the Fire Warriors themselves can be placed into specialized groups, such as breacher teams armed with pulse blasters, who are trained for close-range assaults, or the Pathfinder teams who find themselves performing advanced reconnaissance, equipped with recon armor, rail rifles, and marker lights, which allow the recon teams to laser-designate targets for destruction. The Tau also have access to battlesuit technology. Their lighter suits known as XV-15, XV-22, and XV-25 stealth battlesuits allow Tau soldiers to operate either solo or within teams, jumping around the battlefield, unleashing death from seemingly nowhere with their burst cannons and fusion blasters. Their medium battlesuits offer slightly more defensive and offensive options. The XV-8 Crisis battlesuit is among the most used, but there are many variations, such as the XV-88 Broadside battlesuit, the XV-9 Hazard Close Support Armor, and the XV-95 Ghost Keel Stealth battlesuit. Each of these battlesuits possess a great many armaments, ranging from twin-linked burst cannons, pulse submunition rifles, twin railguns, heavy rail rifles, missile pods, and many more. These suits are used in a variety of engagements. Close combat and ranged warfare is perfectly suited to these machines, depending on their configuration. Yet, above these suits are the heavy battlesuits, such as the XV-104 Riptide, the KV-128 Storm Surge, or the KX-139 Tau-Nar Supremacy Armor. These behemoth suits are used to defend planets from invasion, fight on equal terms with Imperial Knights, and even the largest Tyranid beasts. These suits can be armed with an even greater array of weaponry, such as Nexus missile launchers, heavy rail cannons, fragmentation cluster shell launchers, fusion eradicators, and many more. Beyond the battlesuits, the Tau have access to a great deal of different vehicles, which aid them in a variety of ways. They have lighter vehicles, such as the Tetra, the Remora drone stealth fighter, and the Piranha skimmer, which are used for a variety of tasks, such as transportation, light assaults, and laser designation of targets. These vehicles can be outfitted with burst cannons, gun drones, and seeker missiles, all of which aid them in the destruction of their enemies. Above their lighter vehicles, the Tau possess a range of grav tanks, such as the Devilfish, Skyray gunship, and the Hammerhead gunship. These grav tanks can be used for transportation and battle due to their high-powered weapon capacitors and extra armor. Armed with ion cannons, railguns, plasma cannons, and smart missile systems, these vehicles are incredibly powerful and can be used for devastating effect on the battlefield. Soaring above these grav tanks are the Tau Flyers, with vehicles such as the Barracuda, Manta, Razor Shark strike fighters, and Tiger Sharks. These flying vehicles offer massive support to the ground troops, with coordinated transportation of units and heavy fire that destroys their enemies. These vehicles are often outfitted with a variety of weapons, such as burst cannons, drones, missile pods, and ion cannons, all of which are used to blanket the battlefield in supporting fire for their advancing or defending troops. The Tau also possess a wide variety of drones, which they use for all types of tasks, ranging from Earthcast builder drones, gun drones, marker drones, and command link drones. The Tau have drones for almost every job, from scouting, shielding, weapon fire, and constructing. The Tau drone is an integral part of their army and their societies. Beyond the strictly Tau armies, there are other species that have been uplifted and follow the doctrine of the greater good. These varied species are used for great many tasks, such as the Nikasa, a psychic race who are used for scouting and exploring, or the Vorg, peaceful yet Goliath aliens who are so large and resilient they can battle on par with super heavy combat walkers. There are a great many of these races, most of which are shrouded in mystery, yet all seem to play key roles within the Tau Empire. There are two races, though, for which there is more information, the first being the Vespid, an insectoid race. The Vespid were already technologically adept when the Tau first met them, and their thoughts were so different from the Tau, it seemed an alliance could never be forged. Yet, with the help of a communication headset, the Vespids became compliant, and completely accepted the Tau's friendship and absorption into their empire. Vespid warriors travel in teams, referred to as strains, and with their language being so complex, only the leaders of these strains are permitted to converse with the Tau. Each of these strains are highly maneuverable, due to the wing-like protrusions on their back, allowing them to be vital units within a Tau army. Their technology is based around exotic crystals that are found on the bottom of floating islands that are found across their homeworld. The unique blending of Tau and Vespid technology have given them access to neutron blasters, which strip the atoms from their targets of choice. Other than the Vespid are the Kroot, a humanoid and avian species. These tall and wiry aliens are incredibly powerful, with dense musculature and swift muscle contractions. Kroot are used mostly as close-quarters shock troopers. Outside of their strong bodies and fast reflexes, the Kroot also employ emphatic pheromones, which prevent certain life forms from being startled by them, allowing the Kroot to move undetected through areas teeming with life. This lets Kroot units set up ambushes for unsuspecting prey. The Kroot is also known to be intelligent, to a point where they can learn any known languages and at an astounding rate. Furthermore, the Kroot have an evolutionary gift. If they were to consume the flesh of any species, they can selectively take from that flesh specific strands of DNA and add it to their own, effectively creating entirely new subspecies of Kroot. Many Kroot across a variety of worlds look different from each other due to the DNA they have added to their own. This could range from different colorations of skin, stronger muscles, higher bone density, the ability to become psychers, and many more. This powerful genetic gift, though, can be dangerous. If the Kroot were to consume a Dark Eldar, it would begin to show signs of intense cruelty, and it is known that all Kroots are forbidden from eating certain flesh, such as the Tau as their allies, and that of the Tyrannid, due to the unforeseen manifestations within the Kroot. This gift can only be used when a specific Kroot allows it, the Shapers. These Shapers are essentially squad leaders, and are used to command their squadrons for not only military endeavours, but also social. This genetic trait has also been used to create specific troops for battle, such as Kroot Hounds, Krootoks, and Narloks. The Kroots use a variety of weapons, many of which are brought back from various races due to Kroots being used as mercenaries, though most Kroot use their fighting staffs, which were used by their ancestors. It is fitted with blades, and most of them have been modified by the Tau to fire charged particles instead of standard slugs. Beyond ground troops and vehicles, the Tau also possess a vast fleet of ships, known as Korvatra. These ships are responsible for the defense of the Tau Empire and their expansion into the galaxy. What started as basic ships with slow gravitic drives were then propelled forward with the finding of an alien vessel that possessed a warp drive. After years of research and development, the Tau were finally able to create a space-worthy fleet that could take them through the galaxy and beyond. They have Gal Leith and Ores El Leith battleships, armed with a variety of space-worthy weaponry, such as starboard railgun batteries, ion cannons, and defensive deflector technology. These battleships allow the Tau to contend with other spacefaring civilizations out there in the galaxy. Escorting their battleships are several other vessels, such as the Kir Shashvray Heavy Escort, the Kir Kath class starship, and the Kas El gunships. These vessels are armed with gravitic launchers and railgun batteries, capable of defending both themselves and other vessels in the fleet. The Tau also possess space stations and orbitals, such as the Aircast orbital cities and the Fortress stations. Some of the largest of these stations have populations that rival entire continents. Beyond Tau vessels, there are a host of alien vessels that are also used, such as the Nikasa Dao, used for exploration and trading mainly, the Vespid Nest vessels, and the Kroot Warspheres, both of which can be used as transportation vessels for troops and mobile war platforms. The Tau are a complex civilization, praised for their diplomacy and technological advancements, yet harboring a darker side lurking beneath the surface. While they champion ideals of cooperation and progress under the banner of the greater good, their ambition often leads them down the path of manipulation and expansionism. Despite their outward facade of harmony, dissent is swiftly quashed, revealing a totalitarian streak within Tau society. Their expansionist endeavors frequently result in the subjugation and exploitation of less advanced civilizations, casting doubt on their claims of tolerance and peace. Thus, while admired for their innovation, the Tau's relentless pursuit of dominance can lead to acts of cruelty and oppression reminiscent of the most tyrannical empires in the galaxy.